so we'll go ahead. We'll get standing in our gravity line. We'll go through a quick full body warm up. So I'm going to have my feet hips distance apart. We're going to have the knees soft bent. I'm going to have the weight back into my heels. I'm going to tuck the tailbone. We're going to stand up nice and tall through the rib cage, through the spine, but we don't want to be flaring the rib cage. We're going to tuck the chin, push the crown of the head into the ceiling, and the rib cage front and back will lift up. We're going to go ahead and go into our march, opposite arm, opposite leg. Marching, letting those arms swing. Trying to keep those knees out in front of our hips. We're rolling through the balls of the feet. As I lift my knee, I'm going to point my toe to the floor. Triple chin position. Constantly breathing. We're going to start reaching overhead. When we go overhead, we want to make sure to not flare our ribs and go into extension. Wrists and elbows stacked on top of one another. Up, down. Hands are going to go out in front of us. Keep the elbows in front of the shoulders. Weight still on the heels. Tailbones tucked, ribs are down, chin's tucked. Next, reaching the back of the room. Pushing that crown of the head into the ceiling and breathing. Not holding your breath. In and all right, elbows in, hands straight out. All right, we're going to relax our hands, let them swing by the side. We're going to keep marching. We'll pick up the pace just a little bit. We're going to put all three motions together. So it'll go overhead, forward, inside. We'll go 3, 2, 1, go. Overhead, forward, inside. Good. 3, 2, 1. We'll slowly relax. Hands by the side. We're going to go ahead and take a wide stance. Toes in, heels out. Make sure the toes are in one line. We're going to have a hand on the front and back of the pelvis, and we want to go in and out of an anterior and posterior pelvic toe. So we'll inhale. Drop the pelvis towards the ground, coming into extension in the back. Exhale, tucking the tailbone. Make sure you're sitting back in those heels. You got those knees bent so we can move the pelvis. You have straight legs, you can't move that pelvis. You bent knees, we're sitting back in. Still pushing through the crown of that head. And we grow through that proper gravity line. Weights in the heels. One more, we'll tuck. Keep those tailbones tucked underneath. Now, we'll tuck the chin, push the crown of the head into the ceiling. Hands are going to come by the side. We're going to externally rotate, reaching out, and I'm going to rotate my head from side to side, warming up the neck first. Just rotating. The head between the shoulders, shoulders don't move. One more on each side. We're going to keep the hands up the side that we're looking to. I'm going to keep that palm up. Other palm I'm going to rotate down. And now I'm going to rotate the shoulders and then rotate the head. So I'm going to start looking at the other shoulder. I'm going to supinate, joint, and head. So an internal, external rotation of the shoulder. As my chin and my eye gaze reaches the other side, the palm is up. Rotate to the other side. On the side, 1, 2. I'm going to get the hands going overhead here. I'm going to flare my elbows, tuck the chin, and now we're going to bring the ear side to side to the elbow. Just trying to translate the cervical spine over. So not side bending, not rotating, just pushing ear to ear over to the elbow. And keep that head still nice and straight. Keep those elbows flared. 1, 1. Just slowly relax those hands. And go ahead and come to the floor. Now, in this setup, I want to try to keep my thoracic spine, my cervical spine, everything in a nice, good position, good posture. And we're trying to ground the lumbar spine. I'm going to have my heels in line with my sit bones. My knees are going to slightly open up past my ankles. I'm going to try to reach the middle of my foot to the floor. I'm going to use my knees to pull myself up, pull weight off the floor, and I'm going to exhale, tuck my tailbone, keep my chest tall, trying to wrap the lumbar spine. Inhale, back up. So little couple movements, trying to warm the lumbar spine up, bringing control flexion. More. And tuck this elbow. It's very good up and down. How's everyone feeling from all that? What's up, Lisa? How you doing? All right, we'll go ahead. I'm gonna get you guys laying on the ground. I want you guys to have a good look for your neck. Something for your neck to keep it straight. You just don't want it too tall or too short, so there's some excessive bending. You want to try to find something to keep the neck as straight as possible. What we're going to get into here is internal rotation of the shoulder joints. What I want to do is I want to have my shoulder blades in one line with one another. I want to make sure they're out of my ears, especially the one I'm laying on. I want the shoulder coming up and forward. So make sure the spine is nice and tall and straight. My hips are on top of one another. My torso and my hips are in one line. Then my elbow and my shoulder are in one line. And 90 degrees here. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my forearm at 90 degrees. And I want to start pulling myself into internal rotation. As I go ahead and I grab the watch face and bring my wrist towards the floor, I want to make sure that shoulder blade doesn't come up. So I'm trying to disassociate my upper arm from my shoulder blade. Okay, so meaning I want the arm to move, not the shoulder blade. Okay, so when you come down in here, we're going to reach an area. As you can see here, my arm is not moving anymore. I'm going to get the bouncing effect. That's where we're going to kind of hold that arm and breathe. Just trying to take the shoulder into a passive stretch, internal rotation, so we can increase the tissue in that area. Making sure we're breathing nice and deep.
As we exhale, we'll try to push a little bit more of that watch face to the floor. Here is very important. Now we've gotten the stretch, I'm able to get a little bit more internal rotation on my arm. Now I'm going to start pushing my bottom arm back into my top hand, but I don't want to lose any of the range of motion that we've just created. So when we start pushing back into the top hand here, do not let the bottom arm move. So we'll start reaching back the watch face in the top of the hand. We go 10% into the top of the hand for the tension. 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So you can hold 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll take that top hand out, reach more to the floor, so we're trying to reach into the internal rotation actively. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax. Take that guy out a little bit. We'll reset. Now we're going to take ourselves again into the stretch. So we'll make sure we're set up nice and tall through the chest. My shoulder blade is back and down. My elbows in line with the shoulder. Now I'm going to keep my forearm at 90 degrees and I'm going to grab my watch face and pull myself into rotation. You should have a little bit more range after doing it. Not much, about 10 to 15 degrees or so. And then we're going to breathe. Exhale. And try to reach that watch face to the ground. Start reaching the bottom hand back into the top hand again. Take a deep breath into the core, tighten those abs. We go 10% into the top hand, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, as hard as you can hold. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we'll try to activate this to the floor again. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly relax there. Shake that arm out, and we'll go ahead and go on to the other side. The other arm. How's everyone doing with those guys?
You guys understand what we're trying to do? All right, so I've got my arm. It's going to be moving just like this, right? So I just want the arm, the upper arm, to be moving. So we get into the stretch. I push back into the upper arm, right? And that moves. And I try to actively reach just a little bit more into internal rotation, right? So just the rotation of the shoulder. Okay.
So other side here. We've got our head, shoulders, everything nice and straight, tall chest, my bottom just slightly bent to widen my base. I want to make sure that my shoulder blade is nice and neutral, my shoulder on top of my leg. I'm go ahead and bend my elbows to 90 degrees, and then I'm going to reach it towards the floor here. Deep breaths in and out through the diaphragm. As we exhale, we try to reach it a little bit more to the floor, making sure we're not allowing the shoulder blade to elevate as we continually push down. One of the ways the body will compensate is to remove another structure. So you don't have to activate a group of tissues or a stretch of area that it doesn't want to move. So it'll move the whole two structures together to stop them. Open those sevens here, breathing. We're going to start pushing the watch face back into the top hand. So we'll go 20%, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll try to reach to the floor. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax. Go ahead and shake that arm out if you need to.
How's everyone doing on that? Okay. What I'm trying to explain to you guys with the disassociation of the shoulder blade and the scapula and the upper arm, right, is so if I'm going into internal rotation and my body doesn't like it, it's going to do this, right? So I'm not internally rotating. I'm elevating and I'm protracting to make me think that that's what's happening. So as I lay on my side, boom, as I go into internal rotation, I don't want that. I don't want to keep that shoulder blade back and down. And then I want to reach. So you see how the shoulder didn't lift, elevate, or protract? All movement from the upper arm. Another thing that will happen is you'll, instead of moving straight down, you'll start pushing the forearm out. Right? So you'll increase the angle of the forearm. We don't want that. We want to keep that at 90 so it keeps into rotation and not extension. Okay? Another way that'll trick you as well. Okay, so we'll get back. Last one here on that side. Shoulders on top of one another, your knees are stacked, hips are stacked. Those nice and tight. Get the shoulder blade back and down. Elbow along the shoulder, 90 degrees in that forearm. I'm going to grab the watch face. I'm just going to go ahead and start reaching the bottom of the wrist to the floor with the arm. Breathing. Nice and deep through the diaphragm. Couple more breaths here. Try to exhale a little bit more. Try to reach this down to more internal rotation. All right, start reaching the top hand back into the watch face. We'll go 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, as far as you can hold. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll take the arm off. Then reach to the ground and try to push it to the ground. Push it to the floor. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So next one, you guys in. We're going to deal with the external rotation of the shoulder joint. We're going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to go the opposite way. And I'm going to be in a front position. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up with my hand on this block here. Now, for a lot of people, this might not be the most efficient setup. Everyone's going to have a different shoulder angle from the floor, so on and so forth. So what we're trying to do is I'm going to try to keep my elbow, my shoulder in one line as best as I can. Okay. You kind of maybe see that my elbow is dropping a little bit below my shoulder. That's fine. For a lot of people that aren't able to open up their shoulder more, your shoulder might be hiked up and not able to drop. So what I want you guys to try to do is sort of open up the chest as much as possible. Put the hand on the block and drop that elbow to the floor. You might feel a big stretch in the chest. That's fine. Okay. And so what I'm going to do now with my hands is I'm going to kind of just create a base for my chin. So I can tuck my chin. I can have my shoulders nice and neutral. And then from here, this is what we're going to be playing with the stretch. So we're just going to take a couple of breaths here. My elbow away from my body and open up my chest by pulling my shoulder blade back and down. Deep breaths as you keep pulling my shoulder blade back and down. Now, what we're going to start doing here is the bottom of my wrist, I'm going to start pushing into the block. Okay, we'll start with a little bit of tension. Okay, 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Hold as hard as you can. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that shoulder blade back and down. We're going to try to lift off the block. Hold. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax. Now, the goal is not to lift off that block, okay? I've been doing this for a long time that when I'm doing this now, I kind of should be at a different phase than I am here with you guys in class. So you might see my arm kind of lift off. What I'm trying to get you guys to do is to create as much tension as you can, both directions without the movement, okay? So it's like on this guy, now I'm pushing into the block, right? So it's like the block's there, I'm doing this movement, but I'm not moving, right? So we're ramping up motor units for strength training. And then afterwards, I'm just going to try to reverse the pressure. I should feel this back of the shoulder blade, rear delt, kind of like, for a lot of you guys, it should be spasming, right? Because we're kind of rounded like this. We're internally rotated. The second we get into that active external rotation position, a lot of you guys should feel that a very hard, intense contraction. Okay. Other side. Go ahead, get my elbow shoulder to one line. I'll get that shoulder blade pulled into the back on the back pocket. And then elbow touches the ground. You might do a big stretch in your chest here. It's okay. Big breaths in out to the diaphragm. Also trying to send breath to the shoulder blade, to the shoulder, to the front of the shoulder to relax. We're going to slowly start pressing into our block. We go 10% into the block, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your shoulder blades back to motion. 15, 14, 15, 12, 11, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
How'd that feel for everybody there? Challenging.
Hey, so Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Like, I got a lawnmower over here, so it makes it really hard to hear. But what I get is on the second phase, it's kind of like holding. It's as if somebody is pushing against my hand, and I'm not letting it move, but I'm not pushing in. I'm not going forward or back. It's still holding there, but I've got the muscles that's just holding it in place.
Yeah, so you're gonna push into the block, right?
Right.
And then you're just gonna maybe act like there's a block behind you, right? We're gonna push into, like, if you're trying to lift off.
Yeah.
Because really, I'm just trying to, when you start to lift off, because we're in this position to where now I'm lengthened and like I'm in my weakest position here. So when I press this way, I'm gonna trick the nervous system. We're gonna get a little bit more range, and then what I'm trying to do is activate and just put tension in the tissues by trying to lift off. So I'm just doing the opposite.
Yeah, but I'm not really lifting off, right? I'm just
Like,
I'm putting both muscles pulling it and pushing it at the same time, so it stays in the same position.
no,
No.
I'm gonna hold the isometric contraction of reaching back.
Okay.
Right? So you're trying to create as much contraction as you can without the arm moving.
Okay.
Feel like you're like, oh, but it's like not moving.
Okay.
All right, we'll go back to the other side. All right. We'll go ahead and make sure the elbow is in line with the shoulder, wrist in line with that elbow. We're just going to take a couple of breaths here. Big inhales, big exhales. From this position, we'll start pressing our wrist into the block. We'll do 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, hold, 15, 14, 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hold the contraction to the lift off. Just holding the contraction. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax. And then we'll go back to our other side. Last one here. Make sure elbow, wrist in one line, elbow, shoulder, one line, shoulder goes like that. We're going to start breathing in real deep. Breathing out through the diaphragm. Relax that shoulder to the floor, pushing that elbow out. We're stretching it from your chest here. And then we'll start pushing back into the block. We'll go 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, as hard as I can. Hold. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
2, 1. Try to just a little scoop that shoulder blade back and down. 2, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How you guys' shoulders feeling after that? Awesome. All right, I'm gonna take you guys over to the wall. I want you guys to find the wall. Oh, this computer is hot. Woo! So what I'm gonna have you guys do is we're gonna use the wall to stretch. Okay, and what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing horizontal abduction of the shoulder and dealing with a lot of the tissues that cross that line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get you guys into a stretch. So I'm gonna step forward. So I want to get my arm back, right? This shoulder blade, I want backing down. So when you get up on the wall, a lot of people might be tight. You might want to do the same thing I was talking about, the internal rotation, elevating and protracting the shoulder, right? I want the shoulder blade back and down as I open up my arm, right? And as I'm stretching on the wall, I'm continually pushing that shoulder blade back and down. Okay, so the hand is going to vary person to person, but I'm trying to get this guy aligned with where I feel the most tension in my chest. Okay, I'll get on the wall with that position. I'm in a stagnant stance. I'm going to pull that shoulder blade back and down out of my ear. And now I'm going to think about rotating my sternum away. So that's the stretch. Shoulder blade goes down, back, and I'm going to try to rotate my sternum away from the wall. Right? That should increase that stretch like crazy. We're going to breathe, and we're going to hold this stretch. Constantly pulling the shoulder blade back and down, constantly rotating more. Trying to separate those 2 points. Deep breaths here. Especially if the arm starts to go numb a little bit, deep breaths. Right? This area is really a compressed area. The bicep, the front of the shoulder. And after we get out of this, blood's going to flow and rush to these areas after we open up this fascia. So what I'm going to have you guys do, as you might have guessed, we're going to push into the wall, okay? So like I'm trying to like close my arm into the wall, okay? So we're up to that stretch. I'm going to start closing my hand into the wall here, but I'm keeping my sternum out, so I'm in my deepest stretch. I'm going to start pushing into the wall, 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, as hard as you guys can hold here, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I'm going to try to just lift my hand off the wall just a little bit. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll slowly rotate towards the wall. Bend that elbow, and then we'll come out of the stretch. How'd that feel for everybody there?
Jeff, when I'm pushing into the wall, am I using my shoulders or the whole arm?
You're using the whole arm, so you want to be thinking about, I'm coming across. It's almost like a fly, right? But I don't want you to think about like my shoulder or the chest. Just think about the arm moving in this direction, right? Because all of these different fibers will do a different movement here, 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 here. I would train, if I'm training a football player, I'm training him from all of these directions like I'm doing right now with you guys on the wall. The reason why is he's going to be constantly trying to reach back, grab people, do all this shit. I need him strong from every position like that. So there's not really a right or wrong hand position or anything like that. You just want to be able to train the tissue, wherever it is, the tissue, because it's all connected through that one area, right? But you're probably going to feel it a lot in the chest and the front of the shoulder if you're tight from a stretch standpoint. Awesome. All right, other side. So we'll go ahead and kind of find the arm position where we have a lot of tension in the chest or the front of the shoulder. Take a stagnant stance. I'm going to pull that shoulder blade back and down. I'm going to rotate the sternum away from my hand. I'm going to take some deep breaths here. Continually pulling the shoulder blade back and down. And rotating the sternum away from the wall or away from the hand or away from the shoulder blade. All right, we're going to start pressing back into the wall. We'll go 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, as hard as you can hold. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll try to lift off the wall. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. How'd that feel for everybody?
Intense.
Yeah, that one can get a little intense there for sure. Front of the body can get very tight, especially through sedentary activities and work and all of that good stuff. All right. Next one to get you guys in. So we're going to start with about 4 elbows. And so what we're trying to do with these postures is we're trying to create as much space as we can in the spinal column. So whatever we're doing, whatever posture it is, we're trying to keep our spine as straight as possible. We're trying to do what's called an axial extension. Axial extension, which I'm trying to grow through the crown of my head from my tailbone. Okay, so thinking about go-go gadget head, tailbone the other way. Right? That's the main goal of this. And the arms are what adds tension to the system to increase. Okay, so like your arms and feet don't need to be perfect. The spine needs to be perfect. The intention of driving through the crown of the head without going into flaring, right? Without, a lot of people are going to push back to get up, right? You don't want to do that because my spine's an extension. I want to keep that spine as straight as possible and try to push the front of the head up into the ceiling. Obviously, you're not going to have this huge result. It's going to be a very minimal feeling, but we want to try to hold that tension through the whole posture, right, to create space at that junction. So first one, T8, T9. This one right here, huge rotational point in the spine. So rotational athletes, if we all know this, this is where most of the rotation comes from through the spine. Okay? Lumbar spine only has 10 degrees of rotation. Okay, so if you're not using your hips when you rotate, you can hit your lower back. So heels are going to be in line with the sit bones. Knees are going to be slightly outside, and I want to be sitting up on my sit bones as best as I can, meaning I have no lumbar round. Okay, my back's nice and straight. I'm going to use my knees to pull myself up to get in a nice straight position. I'm going to tuck my chin, push my neck back, push the crown of the head to the ceiling. So I'm already trying to grow through the crown of the head. I'm breathing deep. Inhale through the diaphragm. I'm going to reach one arm out. Boom, I'm reaching. Nice good reach. Nice reach. And now we're going to go overhead
one arm at a time, making sure we don't deepen the spine as we go overhead. And now we're going to grow front and back of that rib cage, just reaching up towards the ceiling, chin, triple chin position, pushing the front of the head to the ceiling. Arches are reaching the floor. Hips are in internal rotation. Triple chin position, eyes are open, looking down the body. Reaching the palms away from the tailbone. Tailbone slightly pushes into the floor, but does not round the back. Breathe and push. Push that front of the head to the ceiling, front and back of that rib cage. Reach. 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax. Awesome. How's that feeling for everyone? Everyone understand kind of what we're doing?
A lot of that might feel real mechanical right now, but as you kind of understand what we're doing, you're gonna be able to learn that you're gonna like be able to pull fascia and tissue through your feet. You're gonna be able to do the same, pull everything down. You're gonna be able to move everything the other way. It's gonna become more fluidic. So I want you guys to really be focusing on your breath, right? The more you hold your breath, we're not able to get any separation of the spinal column first, which is the most important. But if the core is tight, we have intra-abdominal pressure, I can't release. I want you guys to be breathing through that diaphragm. Don't hold the breath, just in and out, okay? Really try to focus on pushing that. All right, next one. T6, T7, we're gonna go ahead and cross our legs from this position. I wanna make sure that my hips are straight, that I'm not caught to my hips. Knees are gonna reach the floor, and I level my sit bones. Again, low back's nice and flat. Knees reach the ground, I'm gonna sit up nice and tall. Chin's tucked, we're gonna reach that neck back. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put my fingertips together. Good tension here through the fingertips. I'm going to start going overhead. I'm going to flare my elbows as I go overhead. I want to keep that flare back. I'm going to push straight through the elbows. Reach those fingertips up. Triple chin position. Knees reach the floor. Front and back of that rib cage reach towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades follow. Triple chin position. Eyes are open, looking down the body. Pushing my crown of the head up, away from the tailbone. Three, 2, 1. Slowly relax. We'll go ahead and cross the legs the opposite way. Fascia cross is coming through the thoracic spine from the hip. And we need to make sure we cross those legs so we can feel the tension on either side. Okay? Be up on the sit bones again. Knees are going to reach the floor. Sit up nice and tall. Go ahead and get fingertips together on the breastbone. We're going to start flaring our elbows. Bring the fingertips overhead, straightening through the elbow and keep that flare. Fingertips reaching to the ceiling, same triple chin position, pushing back on the head of the ceiling. Knees reach the ground. Deep breaths in. How'd that feel for you guys? You guys might feel a lot of tension between the shoulder blades on that last one. Right, especially if we reach our hands overhead, the center of gravity increases, the core moves higher. Right? So if we have a weaker area, which we're asking now to stabilize more as like a core stabilizer, and they're weak and you sit rounded, right? You might have a cramping or some kind of pain in there. It's completely fine. It is extremely normal in those areas.
Next time we get you guys on the ground, we're going to do 2 cervical neck agoras. So, on the ground. I want to make sure I get my low back completely flat across the floor. Meaning both sides of my SI joint are on the ground. The back side of my belt buckle is on the ground. Okay. Ribs are down. And so I have every vertebrae touching from L5S1 all the way up to my mid spine. Tucking my chin, trying to reach my neck to the floor. You should feel a stretch on the back of those tissues over going along the cranium on the back side. Eyes are open, looking down the body. From here, I'm going to go ahead and keep one knee off the ground, bring it to my chest at a time. I'm going to pull my knees in until my low back slightly comes off the floor. I will release them until my low back touches the floor, and then I will keep my knees so I know where my tension is at any rate. I pull my toes back towards my face. Ankles are going to roll reach up towards my knees. To the outside of the shin here contracting. Keeping that spine flat, triple chin position. I'm going to swallow 5 times. I'm going to relax the tongue on the roof of my mouth. Triple chin position as my eyes are open, looking down the body. My hands are by my side, and I need to make sure my shoulder blades are in line, relaxing the back. I'm going to lift one arm off the ground at a time, externally rotating. Other arm off the ground, externally rotating. This back, this blade, shoulder blades back and down, reaching away from the cranium, because I tuck my chin, push the back of the head, the crown of the head away from my shoulder blades. Breathing in and out through the diaphragm, not holding the breath. Continuing trying to flatten that chin, pull those wrists back more, reach the arms away more, shoulder blades away from the ears more, tuck your chin more, push that crown of the head away from the shoulder blades more. Breathe. Three, two, one. Let's slowly relax the legs. Back down to the floor. Now C6, C7 innervates a lot of the muscles in the arms. So doing that, if you get any kind of numbness going down at the back side of the pinky, all right, that's going to be a good indicator that that's a stretch that you need to do. Okay, that's an area that we need to work on. I'm not saying that that vertebral area is in dysfunction or messed up, but you can either have that be one of the issues, or you can have a compression of fascia in the localized area. So not in the spinal column where it's giving a result, but from the tight fascia on the nerve in that area. But the elbow deals with both of those. So if you have that, that's okay. I had it for a long time, I don't anymore. Okay. Next one. Save us a little bit of time with the talking. The only thing that's changing here is my hand placement over my chest. So if I'm in the position, boom, I'm here. I'm reaching into the ceiling, but I'm not protracting my shoulders. I want those shoulders to remain on the ground, spine to remain on the ground. It's just a slight reach. You'll just feel the fascia tighten around that low back instead of pushing forward. Okay? So go ahead and get that low back on the floor. And find that end range like we did last time. Boom. Outside of those ankles, reach up towards the side of the knee. Ribs are down, back is flat. We're breathing in and out through the diaphragm. We'll swallow 5 times. We'll relax the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Triple chin position as I can hook my knees between my legs. Flapping my neck to the floor, pushing that crown of the head away. We'll go over the chest. One arm at a time, externally rotating, wrists back, fingers straight, reaching into the ceiling, but not letting your shoulder protract. Keep the spine on the ground. Try to pull that crown of the head away from the 6 bones. Slowly relax. Now, if you guys want to go ahead, I'm going to take us over to the wall so we can get into the alpine S1 position. And so you guys can bring over there. I'll bring you guys over to the wall right now. All right. So to get up on the wall, we want to deal with our awareness the best that we have it. Now, obviously, if we've just had years of inactivity and stuff, and we might not have the best proprioception or awareness of where our body is in space. So we want to just try to deal with the best info that we have. We're going to use our hands, our eyes, the wall, things like that, all right, to make sure that we're kind of in this perfect position for each individual, right? Every individual's posture may look different, okay? Okay, so I want to go ahead and I want to get my shoulder and my hip married up against the wall. And then what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start rolling to the wall. And I want to try to keep my shoulders and my hips together, meaning that I'm not trying to like go into rotation with my hip belt buckle still facing forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fall back, shoulders, hips together onto the floor. And now I'm going to go ahead, shift my shoulder position out towards you, hips away. And I'm going to get one sit bone up on the wall at a time. And then I want to make sure that my hips are in one line and that my torso is in one line. Because sometimes when you fall to the side, you get your hips up on the wall, the torso will still be cocked in the way that you got on the wall. So you want to make sure you situate the torso and that you're not in a cocked line, right? Everything's nice and straight. Right, still doing that, Noah. Again, we're going to make sure both sides of that low back are flat on the floor, just like we did in the cervical spine that we just did right now. My heels are going to be in line with my sit bones. My mid spine, my ribs are going to be pulled down so you can feel that mid spine on the ground. So vertebrae all the way from the bottom, all the way up into the cervical spine are going to be touching the floor. You're going to feel that. Again, triple chin position after we swallow. We'll relax the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Eyes are open, looking down the body. I'm going to push that crown of the head away. We're going to start reaching the thighs, internal rotation. Toes are going to reach the opposite shoulder. And the sides of my ankles are going to reach the opposite way up the wall than we just did on the cervical spine. So the other ones that were facing up towards the knee, we want to face now up towards the wall. So we're pulling the fascia up. Okay? I'm going to slightly reach my sit bones into the wall. Tailbone into the floor. We're going to go over our chest one arm at a time. External rotation, reach into the ceiling, and then we'll go overhead one arm at a time, making sure the spine does not deviate. It doesn't come off the floor. I'm pushing my tailbone into the ground, sit bones into the wall, low back, all of my back into the floor in triple chin position, pushing the crown of the head away from the tailbone and sits bones. Toes are reaching the opposite shoulder, heels are reaching up the wall, hands are reaching the opposite way. Breathing. The more you breathe, the more fluidic it'll be, the easier it'll be to hold those harder positions that I threw out, whether it's the internal rotation, the keeping your back flat, the tucking of the chin, the going through the hands, whatever. The more breath, the easier. The better the result of the Eldoa. 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax arms and legs. We'll bend the knees. And then for me, sometimes I'll just sit right here with my low back into the floor, my back flat. I'm just going to breathe
and melt all of the spine on the ground. And I'll do that for like 5 or 10 minutes a day, just to help normalize my pelvis structure, okay? It'll help normalize the tensions that are causing it to be out of balance. If you do have a out of balance pelvis. All right. How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? Awesome. All right, I just want to thank you guys for continually coming out. You guys don't have to pop off the wall or anything like that. You can stay on there for about 5 or 10 minutes to let that whole pelvis reset itself. And just focus on breathing and letting all those structures kind of melt into the floor. All right. Awesome. You guys have a great day. Stay cool.